Hey guys, welcome to Marketing Monday. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I'm going to give y'all just a few minutes to get on, and hopefully I can see the comments here. Jessica isn't here today. She is out for a funeral, so she won't be here tomorrow. Hey Sarah, hey Deanne. Jessica normally does the Facebook end, and I do the YouTube end, so yay, I got it. I've done it before. It's been a long time though. And I think it's actually been different. So good morning, Mary Alice, Edith, Heather. Anybody that's catching this on replay, y'all just leave the hashtag replay and say hello as well, because people do watch this a lot on replay. And we've got a great topic today. Let's see. Let's say hello to anyone else that's here. Deanne, Deanne for the win. She changed on Thursday. We talked about your profile settings, and she has changed her profile picture to the background with the pink, and she stands out so much in the feed and the comments. I love it. Hey, Jennifer. How are y'all? All right. So today we are talking about hooks. So we have content class every Tuesday. If you're not in Academy, you should get in Academy. It's only $15 a month. We tackle one piece of content, an epic piece of content that you can break down and turn into multiple pieces of content. And it has been really, really good. One of the things that we tackle every single week is the hook. So I wanted to go ahead and give some more information in today's Marketing Monday on creating an effective hook, why it's important. So I'm going to have to split screen here just a second. Deanne for the win. That's right. Let's see. All right. So if you don't know what we're talking about as far as a hook goes, a hook basically is, when you're in scrolling through the feed, obviously it's the thing that is going to capture your attention. Our feed is full and you're scrolling. So it's the very first, if it's a post, it's the very first couple of sentence or two that actually shows up. All right. And that's the make or break. That's actually going to be the thing that gets them to click the read more, to stop on your post. We know how important this is for the algorithm for this to happen. So this is coupled with your graphic. Those are the two scroll stopping things that you have to work with to actually get them to take the next step and read the post. So you're trying to create curiosity. You're trying to make a promise. You're going to ask a question, something almost unexpected, to try to get them to stop. The reason is our news feeds are full. Our attention spans are super short. You only have just a couple of seconds. Today, we can scroll. We can scroll to the side through all the reels and through all the stories. So our news feed is full. So just crafting an epic hook is an amazing way to get the algorithm to work with you. That's the whole point of our YSP or your social plan, if you're new here, is to get algorithm busting content so that you can attract and get the people to actually read your posts. If you can't get them to read your posts, then, party foul. That's just, I don't know, why we do the work if we can't get them to read and engage with our posts. So the hook, super important. All right, let's see. So I've got a couple of hook. Let me think of how to say hook. They're almost fill in the blanks. So things that always work. If you're in Academy, I have a surprise dropping for you tomorrow. It's going to be 100 headline or hook formulas. All right. So, and I guess I should have said in the beginning, think about, so if you're old enough to remember the newspaper days, I worked at the newspaper. That actually got my start in advertising. I loved it. But the headline, you had at that time you had a huge newspaper, and, the headline is what grabbed people's attention. So that's what you're thinking about with your hook. And Jennifer, I'll come back to your question in just at the end. So with your hooks, I'm going to give you 5 or 6 today, but you're going to get 100 if you join Academy. And at the end of this, I can't multitask well enough to drop the link to Academy right this second. But if you go to socialincline.com/store, you'll see Academy front and center at the top. So one way that you can create an effective hook is you're going to highlight a problem. All right. So we're going to think about fill in the blank. So it's going to be blank, little known ways to blank. All right. So it could be 5 little known ways to, my mind always goes to fitness because that's what always Jessica leads with. So I won't go with fitness. I'll say 5. Yay, Deanne. Thanks for dropping that. 5 little known ways to show up in the newsfeed. 5 little known ways to get engagement on your posts. 5 little known ways to lose 5 pounds in the next week. That might not be the healthiest way, but 5 little known ways to add more water into your diet. 3 little known ways to whatever. You get the point. So one for us might be how network marketers can grow their presence on social media without getting overwhelmed. All right. So you're creating, so the blank is whatever your solution is, and then little known ways to solve their pain. All right. So pretty easy. The next way is, hey, Jite, the next way is curiosity. So how much blank is too much is a good fill in the blank for this. We can pull those into any niche. All right. So how much water is too much? How much, or how many posts are too many? How many, let's see, let me think. Let me think of somebody that's here. I haven't seen Savita either. Let me think. How many credit cards are too many? All right. So Savita's in the finance niche. Let's see. So you're creating curiosity. So another option is curious to read, the secret to, and then ... All right. So they have to click the read more or get into it to be able to read it. These work for, we're talking about social media posts, but they also work for email subject lines, sales page, your blog posts. Again, anything that's front and center that you're trying to get people to delve into. One more curiosity is, are you making these mistakes with, and it can be weight loss. It can be, let's see, our go-to. Oh, Sarah, organizing. So let's see, are you making these mistakes with clutter or organizing or not organizing? So Sarah says 3 tricks to start daily organizing. Yes. Hey, Kathleen. How many messages are too much? You can't have too many. LOL. Yes, I love that. Let's see. All right, so we've covered a problem. We've covered creating curiosity. All right, so the next we talk about all the time, it's a question. So if you just lead with the question, which Sarah just did, 3 tricks to start daily organizing. All right, or what are 3 tricks? Or do you know the 3 tricks? All right, so turn that into a question. All right, are you fed up with blank? All right, so whatever the problem is that you solve, you can fill in the blank there. Are you fed up with yo-yo dieting? Are you fed up with, let's see, poor credit score? Are you fed up with getting turned down for loans? Are you fed up with, let me think of other, are you fed up with the clutter? Are you fed up with not being true to yourself? All right, Deanne's a life coach. So I'm trying to kind of hit on with what everybody is here. Let's see, I'm trying to remember who all is here. Oh, Jennifer, let's see. Are you fed up with, so Jennifer does elderberry syrup. So we try to hit on something that's like immunity boosting, whatever. So you turn that into that. All right, next we're going to hit contrast. All right, so how blank, so your unexpected solution, can help you with the pain. All right, so how coffee can help you get more sleep. So that you're trying to, something that's not like a little known fact, I guess, is a good way to say that. All right. Oh, let me scroll down. Deanne says, are you fed up with letting that inner critic, be in the driver's seat of your life? See, Deanne, that's awesome. Edith says, are you fed up with makeup creasing under your eyes? Ooh, I love it. Yes, and then you offer the solution and they have to read more. And again, what happens in this, there's more parts to your blog post, your email, your social post. But once you can get them hooked in, then you can offer the solution, and then you offer your call to action and how to, work with you on these things. All right. The next one is proof. What blank, so it'd be your target market, do when they have a pain? All right. So what fitness instructors do when they need to drop 5 pounds? What makeup artists do when they need to put on that epic night look? What credit managers do when they need to get a loan? Those aren't the best. I'm sure I could think of better ones. Let me think of what I was trying to think of another niche that I haven't covered. What busy moms do when they need to declutter their house, or what? So I'm thinking on Sarah because she's here. So what professional organizers do when they need to declutter their own home, or when they need to purge, or when they need to whatever? Deanne says, what the super successful do when they have self-doubt? Ooh, I love it. See, you can already think about these even for content class. Like that can be a whole thing that you flesh out for content class. All right, and then the last one we're going to cover today is making a promise. The next best thing to blank, and it's going to be whatever, solve your problem. All right, the next best thing to show up in the algorithm. The next best thing to have a better immuno support system. Jennifer, what my family does to keep healthy. Exactly. And then when you bring in that my family, you're also touching on that, building that know, like, and trust, because you're giving some information into your, how you do it. Another promise is lose 10 pounds without a restricted diet. Schedule a year's worth of content in less than an hour. All right. So sort of what they get from reading the post. And I love them when they're sort of unexpected. All right. So now you know what a hook is and why they're so important. So many people, even with our content, so, we put out the Your Social Plan content. We can't write the effective hook for you because we are doing in general. Okay. So, and a lot of our content is meant to be general. We talked about this many, many times, is that it doesn't have to be on niche. The MVP strategy, you're posting the content, you're throwing it out there. You're trying to bring in new audience. So some of the content that you're putting out there has to be something that's totally off niche so that you can capture their attention, whether it be questions, whether it be the motivating posts and things like that. So these, again, are going to be more of your P posts and how to hook them in with those. But again, you can totally tie in the questions. So any of these hooks can be a standalone question, and then you can have the conversation in the comments. So there's so many things that you can do with a great hook. Deanne says, what leaders do when they don't feel like leading. Ooh, that's juicy. The next best thing to own your fierce, flawed, and freaking fabulous. I love it. Love it, love it. All right. So if there's any questions about the hook, you can totally ask them here. Hopefully I've kind of opened up, your eyes as to why it's important. Obviously we know, there's thousands of posts. Oh, there's millions of posts in the feed. So, if you have, whether it be on a page, so we talk about reach all the time, and the fact that if you have 100 followers, that only about 3 are going to see your post to begin with. If you can't get them to open it up and read it or act on it, like it, comment on it, something, then that post is going to die. So the hook is super, super, super important. All right, so more about that in content class tomorrow. Again, if you haven't joined content class, you should. It's awesome. All right, I'm going to share my screen because you know that the second part of Marketing Monday is what to post on social. Let's see. All right, let me come back and let me look on Facebook and see if you're seeing my screen. Oh, hopefully you are. All right, so let me come back to it. All right. So if you haven't seen your social plan, this is the part where we come in. And again, there's lots of people on replay. We put these on. We follow our own instructions on repurposing. So this goes on YouTube. This goes on Pinterest. This goes in our blog. We send an email about this. So there's many, many ways that you're going to see this, or if people have the opportunity to see this live video. So this is our Your Social Plan Done For You content. If you sign up, this is the content only portion that you can come in and see. So we're doing a little bit of training on what the MVP is. We talk about that all the time now. People don't really realize how that works and how the algorithm works. So this is our February content. So I'm just going to click in. I just figured this was an easier way for y'all to see. I can't see the comments right now, so sorry about that. But this is an easier way to see what you get. We did add Canva templates for the win. So you get 30 that have Canva templates. So as you can see, so the part of the M is a motivational post. Everyone loves a great motivational post. We suggest putting these out when people are drinking their coffee in the morning. They're setting the stage for their day. They're thinking about things. They're not really necessarily in work mode yet, but you can plant a seed. So these can stand alone. As I mentioned earlier, they are done for you, obviously. So always invest wisely. Sorry. So the post was, let me see if I can see it. The best investment you will ever make is in yourself. I love it. And then make today great. All right. So that is just a great, and I'm showing here, that is just a great feel-good post. All right. So our starting point, or you can post it as is. So always invest wisely. Success coach challenge, thoughtful. All right. So we've given you some hashtags. So with that, so I'm thinking in any niche, if you want to, you do not have to, but if you wanted to, you can totally turn this type of post into a niche post. Okay. They stand alone. Again, we're casting a wide net with these posts that will appeal to anyone. Okay. So we don't want them to be highly promotional. So, but if you can touch on your niche, go right ahead. All right, so that is a motivational. I'll just scroll through and you'll see you get 30. And then there's 30 more. So if I were to click, that are just copy and paste. All right, at some point, we may go back in and add Canva templates for the other 30, but we made it where you're supposed to only get 30. So now you get 60. We just left those in there. All right, next we've got visibility. So if you know the visibility, so we've cast the net with the motivation. Okay. So those are non-intrusive. You can get people to comment on them, especially if you ask a question at the end. We talk about adding a CTA to those. So that will take you about 5 seconds to read the post. When you're scheduling it, ask a little question to incite the comment. The next type of post is a visibility or engagement post. Again, these are going to be either seasonal or a question. All right. So a lot of times they are based on, let's get into this week. So obviously, and I didn't lead with this, but if you're catching this live today, It is Valentine's Day. So you'll see that we do have 3 beautiful Valentine's Day posts. Easy, easy. All right. So with that, be sure to post something today to thank your subscribers. The rest of this week, you'll see that we have suggestions, and there's another set. These happen to be the Canva set, and there's another set at the bottom again because we've added more. But you've got Singles Awareness Day. So if you are in the dating, matchmaking, again, you can tie this into, you might could tie this into fitness. Again, you don't have to tie these into anything. We're casting a net, okay? We're just trying to get people to comment. One of my favorites is the Random Acts of Kindness Day. So we've got the post. Let me see if I can zoom in. All right. This is the one I'd love to highlight for you, and it is a checklist. All right. And then, so this is the post that we've got. Today is National Random Acts of Kindness Day. So I made a little checklist as a reminder of how simple it is to make someone's day. End it with a question that is, how can you, or how can you help someone today? Or what's your go-to? Or some kind of question. All right. So that is a very high appealing post. The pay it forward type posts always do well. We've got February 18th is National Drink Wine Day. Who doesn't love a great glass of wine? And then February 20th, National Muffin Day. National Margarita Day is the 22nd. That might be getting into next week. All right. So if you come down, so these are broken up into, those are your national days. Then we've got also, we give you, like here's a question that pertains to Valentine's. So what's your best Valentine's experience? All right. So you might not post just this traditional Happy Valentine's Day, but you might post this visibility type post, or you might post both, one in the morning and then one later in the day. All right. We also do daily posts that you can see. All right, and then here's another set. I'm just going to go down and see if there's something different. A different Valentine's. There's National Drink Wine Day. There's a couple other. All right. Moving on to our fabulous P-posts. I actually need to come back and see. Thank you, Deanne. That you love, love, love the templates. Awesome. All right. I got to get back where I was. All right, so P posts, P, presence, promotion. All right, we've cast the net. We've gotten their attention. Oops. Now we're going to hook them with the great hook we just learned how to write and your promotional posts. All right, so we give you every single month, we give you promo ideas. So we have talked about Groundhog. We talked about February. We talked about a Valentine's promotion last week. So you can see here. So be good to yourself, Sal. All right. It may be the month of romance, but there are a lot of singles out there too. Run a promo in honor of self-love and let people know it's okay to pamper themselves. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have to be singles. We don't have to single out. This still could apply to, so I'm thinking about Deanne again, but because she teaches self-love, but this can work for any niche because it can be in fitness. Fitness is self-love. And again, it doesn't have to be for a single. I need to be practicing more fitness. So I need to be drinking more water. I need to be doing a lot more self-care rituals. So anything that you can bring in. Self-care doesn't have to be pampering. It can also be taking care of your credit. It can be anything that's going to put you in a better place tomorrow. All right. We also give fill in the blank posts in this, and we don't ever really touch on these, but these are seriously awesome posts that there's 3 every single month, and you should definitely use these because they're the most written out thing that we do for you. All right. And then we have the business building prompts. I'm just gonna, let's see, like share your story. All right. Or provide a little value. Are you looking for a simple way to achieve whatever, something good? So it'd be, or a simple way to lose 5 pounds, to drink more water. Check this out. Give your best advice. Example, are you looking for a simple way to have smoother skin? Check out this article or my 5 tips or whatever. You get the idea. All right. So basically, you'll see. Let me see. There's another set of the day of the week prompts. So let's just say that you need something else to add into your mix. It's Monday. So Monday mail. I'm just going to highlight this. Write a few thank you notes. We just talked about this. Was that in content class? I think it was. That was our example, was a thank you note. So I'm glad I landed on that. So I think it was Marcy does stationery. So that was our actual example. Write a few thank you notes for your new February customers and share a post about the process. Emphasize how much love and appreciate you, how much you love and appreciate your customers. All right. So that you turn that into a post, you show you doing that. Again, it's a selfie. It's a shout out to a customer, something like that. This is a way to give you an idea for the post. All right. So you probably can see at the top of my screen. So we always end this session with a win. All right. So Jate took action on our content class this week. So I am going to highlight her this week. So she took our prompt and she fleshed it out into a carousel. So here are 5 ways to help you eat less. All right, 1, track your food, and she's given a little more, and then she's actually sending them off to another a way to track. Eat proteins. Oops, come on. Add fiber-rich foods to your diet. Eat mindfully. Drink water before every meal. All right, have questions, enjoy the tips, join our cool Facebook community here, and connect with your fitness-focused ladies and resource to start your journey. Email me at. All right, this is perfect. She ended with the CTA, all the things we learned to do in content class. So that is a win. So go Jate. So that second part of content class is actually repurposing these totally. I don't know if she did, but this totally could be a blog. She's got enough information here. A blog needs to be about 300 to 500 words to be an effective blog for SEO. One of the reasons you do blogs is to bring traffic, same as social media, to bring traffic to your website. So she could beef these up just a little bit and have an amazing blog. So that is awesome. Go Jate. All right, let me see if I can not share my screen any longer and go back to audio visual so I can see. All right. So Jate says, yay, I followed directions. Thanks. That's awesome. So I love it. My favorite thing is to see when people take action and do the thing. So it is awesome. And again, with the algorithm and opening the algorithm up, it's like a snowball. So it takes a little bit to get the momentum going, but once it does, it collects and it just gets better and better and better. You can use us as an example to see how this works. So last year, we decided to show up. Like that was our motto, show up and simplify, but show up. So every single week we put in a Tuesday and a Thursday live class. This year we've added one more, which is the Marketing Monday. We didn't do this last year, but because of our efforts to show up, we were able to repurpose that content and put it out in places, and it has brought in so many people to seeing us. This year, you've got to pivot some and you've got to try and find out what works for you. But definitely that be everywhere mentality and trying to repurpose, do more with less is a great place to be. So with content class, I hate to keep harping on it, but it's such a great way to make it easier. That is the thing that just scares people to death, is writing their own content. And there's no substitute for when you see somebody's post, you see them come through and you just love, like, whatever their message is, you can do that too. So I challenge you, whether you're joining Academy or not, to use something that you learned here today. Just go back and watch this replay, grab one of those prompts and write a post. So, yep, content class for the win. That's right. It's only $15 and you get, a planner every month, a toolkit every month. So, and Sarah says, yes, I saw it. It's great. I am trying to see what she was talking about, but maybe it was content class. I don't know. But all right, so Marketing Monday. I love that Marketing Monday sets the tone for the week. So now you know how to write great hooks. I gave you 5 or 6 examples. Now I can't remember how many it was, but 5 or 6 examples. So go write a good hook, add a little content with it. Oh, Jatay's post. Yes, awesome. Thanks, Sarah. Yes, Jatay for the win. All right. Well, I guess that's all I have for today. Jessica will not be here for content class tomorrow. So number 2 on content has to take over. So, but we've got this. We've got this. Tomorrow's topic is warning your followers. So about something. So we're going to, and in that, we really, really delve into like a way to make this work for your niche. So if you show up live, we talk about your niche if you want to. We have lurkers, and that's fine, that just want to do it themselves. They don't necessarily want to speak up, and that is perfectly fine. So if you are that person, you don't have to talk. You get so much out of seeing all of the niches. We even do niches that people aren't necessarily in, just to kind of broaden your perception of how to do this. So awesome, Jennifer. We'd love to have you. So in Academy. All right. So I guess that's it. Yay, Sarah. Can't wait. So now I've got to go see what kind of posts we're going to highlight this week. So, all right. Y'all have a great day. Go write a P prompt post for the day.